This is Ewan Cameron from the top of Loch Nagar, putting in some heavy flex in preparations for the Cape Wrath Ultra in just under a week and a half's time. You listen to the Tea Trails Podcast with Gary Thwaites and Eddie Sutton. You guys rock, and I'm looking forward to meeting you at the Tea Trails Ultra if I survive the Cape Wrath.
Hello and welcome to episode 125 of the Tea Trails Podcast, and thanks Ewan, stunning intro. If you want to pop over to YouTube, also kudos for completing the Cape Wrath Ultra, and yes, Ewan is going to be towing the line at the Tea Trails Ultra, so see you soon, and keep those intros coming. Email them to hello@teaandtrails.com. Kudos to all our patrons and everyone who's joined Patreon over the last week. For the price of a cuppa, you can help keep the lights hot and the mics on and save big time on all your trail running essentials.
No hugs, no kisses. What's happened? These patrons are waiting. They are waiting for all this moisture to come their way. Is it because you don't like it? Because I mock you?
Keep pulling me up on it. Who are these Patreon partners, I hear you ask? Well, the list keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We've got Precision Fuel and Hydration, X Miles, Phoenix Light UK, Protein Rebel, Veloforte, Tiki Boom, Mountain Fuel, Outdoor Active, Silver Sweden, Active Route, The Centurion Run and Store, About the Run, Sportshoes.com, Big Bobble Hats, Fonside Farm Cottages, Summits, Ugogo Projects, Hellfire Events, Red Bear Sports, The Alban App, Retainer Group, Cycle Protection, Summit Crazy, Beat It Sports, Lumi Active Wear, Glowmac, Bridgedale Socks, Nav4, Knack Nutrition, Flaming Phoenix, One Good Thing, Save Household, Primus Stoves, Torque, Life Jacket, Skin Protection, Gooder, Runderwear, and Ultra Trails 2. Don't forget, if you'd like a snood or a bobble hat, you need to add your address to Patreon. No address, no goodies.
Thanks to X Miles, Precision Fuel Hydration, Harrier Trail Running, Phoenix Light UK and Protein Rebel for sponsoring this week's show. X Miles is a family-owned independent endurance sports retailer that provides nutritional goods, apparel and accessories to help athletes perform and recover at their best. X Miles also offer a wide range of high-quality products from leading brands, and their team of nutrition experts, cyclists, runners and outdoor enthusiasts can provide expert advice and guidance to help you reach your goals. Whether you're a seasoned athlete like me or just getting started like Gary, X Miles is the perfect place to find everything you need to succeed. Listeners can get 10% off at xmiles.co.uk via the link in the show notes. Is your basket bulging, Gary?
It is bulging. I've got a core suit in there and a smorgasbord of carbs.
I saw another popular podcast host being called out heavily via somebody on social media encouraging heat training. Well, he doesn't encourage heat training. Nobody encourages heat training.
Yeah.
But the dangers of it anyway. Well, I'm going one step up because I'm gone. I bought something one step up from the core suit, which I'm now going to try.
Are you going to double up the core suit and this new edition?
Oh, let's just see. You guys are all grown up and adults enough to know, like, if you want to give it a go, if you don't, and if you do, then take precautions with everything in life, Gary. Otherwise, you pay for the consequences. Have you entered the Tea Trails Ultra yet? Have we entered, Gary? Do you think we're going to be allowed in at the gate?
I was just volunteering once at a race and I ended up picking up the race director bib. Sad times.
Oh my God, can I have the race director bib? Can we just get that? And can I just walk around with, like, you know, the people you see that direct planes in and they have like big
what a job.
and the things, and I can just stand and do that. But if anybody comes up to me, I'm going to be like, no, I'm on the radio. Coming in, Zulu 1 hot
I
truck.
remember Little 100, whoever the poor guy or girl was doing the car parking, there was some conversation went down. It did not go well.
Oh, the car. I always feel for the car parking attendants because you're waiting for those cars to arrive, standing around, suddenly 800 cars appear and you've got to park them all in the field. And there is some dodgy driving out there and nobody wants to be 300 miles from the campsite.
I think somebody put a post up there wanting some sympathy or understanding. And they didn't get
that on social media, sympathy and understanding. Anyway, if you're jogging along on your long run, kudos, well done. Relax into it, take a slurp of your water, start loading the carbs. But also, you might need to pause your watch because if you're listening to this weekend, 14th, 15th of June, entries close the 19th of June. If you're still on the fence, this is literally your last chance. And if you are free and you can come and you decide not to come, you're going to regret it when you see Gary's outfit planned for the recording of the podcast. I'm just going to say red shorts and some lube. And just leave it at that. Pop over to, and just sponsor labels or like post-it notes. We're going to play sticklers. No, anyway, it's a great game. Head over to www.teaandtrailsultra.com for both all the information on the weekend, but also if you're just going to grab a last-minute place. If you can't run and you want to volunteer, you can also head over to www.ariaevents.com where you'll see the event team option and all the information on volunteering can be found there. Don't forget, you can grab a Tea and Trails cap over at YouGoGoo. Projects and patrons receive 20% off. If you're looking for the discount codes, then head over to Patreon or check out the show notes.
I've had a little look at your week and I saw the Instagram stuff over the weekend. Looked incredible. Or your weekend did anyway.
You know it's been a good day when you get home in the car and you'll have to brace yourself for getting your legs out of the car and you're like... How bad is this going to feel from doing 9 hours worth of running and then getting in your car almost straight away and then going to get out? After my down week last week, I had to have some chats with myself, Gary. Do you find this, like, if you step out of the routine, you were like, where did I fit all this running and stuff in?
I'm still finding friction with the gym.
So I had to be like laser focused every day of like, this is what I'm going to do. Like, no excuses, Eddie. Get your trainers on and get out the door and get that work done. I tell you what, hanging out, Debs will love this. I said to Debs, I don't even mention your surname now, Debs. You're just called Debs on the podcast.
Robbo and Debs.
If you hang out with people, high achievers that also are very busy people in life and you see what they do, I think I work hard and then you see how hard real people work and you're like, wow, you put in the grind day after day. Come on, Eddie. So I was like, these are my slots this week. Get it done. I also wanted to preload my week. As we all know, we all are in the same boat. Wouldn't it be lovely to be able to do like, I do my workout and then I have 2 easy days and then I have a long, you're like, I sometimes have things in the most terrible position, but my big thing is always get it done. Get it done. And it might need to be adapted on the fly depending on energy. So I wanted to get everything done by the weekend because I knew then Saturday was going to be mega. I didn't quite realize how mega it was going to be. And then Sunday was a lot of kids taxi driving. So I didn't want anything hanging over my head apart from an easy hour. I was like, that is all I'm going to be able to cope with. I don't want any strength work. I don't want any heat work. I don't want anything. I just want that easy. So that meant woo-hoo. Monday to Friday, I was on every single slot I had, right, 40 minutes. I think I came and recorded the podcast and I was like, I literally just dropped the dumbbell and I'm in. I'm sitting and I'm in. So that was what those 5 days were like. But I got it done. 2 heat, 1 outside, 1. I decided to do a little bit of a workout within my heat session.
Oh my God.
Just to see what it's like. And I just had shorts on my legs. I had layers on the top, got myself warmed up, got hot, and I thought I'm gonna do 10 by 1 minutes into 20 minutes steady. Well, the 10 by 1 minutes, Gary, the effect. So I think what the heat does is like, I didn't find the 1 minute that hard because 1 minute is just like the last 10 seconds when you're like, oh my God, this is the longest 10 seconds. So I did them at 10% on the treadmill. And then the last 10 seconds I was like dying. And then what I found was because I was already hot, then the minute afterwards, I could not recover as quick as you would after a minute. Like I would expect with my fitness level, after a minute, you'd like be like proper lactate for like 10, 15 seconds. And then you'd be like recovered.
Yeah.
Walk it off.
Not with heat
off
training.
we go. I could not get my breath. I couldn't get my heart rate down. And I was like, is that good? Is that like, wow, amazing response I'm going to have to this because I'm working like my body's really having to work hard to recover? Or is this like quite frighteningly scary that my heart rate's going? I'm still not sure. And I was like, I'm never giving this to anybody. This is horrible feeling. I don't want to do this again.
My experience is when I hit that, when I decouple to get my heart rate down to a level where I can kind of run again, it takes so long. So the thought of doing a session.
So athletes that are doing their heat training that I coach, you don't worry, we're not doing this. It was so horrible. By the end of it, I was so cooked. I was no way doing 10 minutes. I was like, I need a little lie down. I just ran easy after that because I was like, sorry, buddies. I needed to take more layers off. I could have done it still had a heat stimulus by taking more layers off. But as athletes and because I'm a dumbass, I was like, no, now I've started, I got to finish this. But it was still a great workout. My God, I really enjoyed it. Why do we do that? If someone at halfway through, even though I was like, my heart was going through the roof, if someone had said, Eddie, you can stop, I'd have been like, no, I love this kind of stuff. Got my strength done. Lifting really heavy again, Gary. I'm lifting the big guns. And when I lift the big guns, I can really feel it when I'm running long runs and uphill. I can just feel I've got some good butt cheeks behind me, Gary. We all know that. They are strong.
Everyone commented on your butt cheeks.
Everybody. I got some strong, and I'm proud of those because they can power me. But when I'm lifting heavy as well, almost feels like I've got a little push behind me. And when I ran my long run this week, it just feels so easy. When you've done squats and deadlifts really heavy, you're like, this is nothing. I can keep these legs moving, which I think is so important for any sort of running. But I've said it before that for like these super long runs that I do, is like just biomechanically being able to turn your legs off and just being like, you've got a job to do, just keep turning over.
Yeah.
You just don't get that muscle fatigue. I went to the osteopath. I found a new osteopath on Friday. I wanted to check my knee, which I've mentioned a few times. It doesn't really bother me apart from going down and up. Apart from that, it's fine. I find it fluid going down, like not a road or a trail or a simple, but a like steep, rocky. It doesn't glide, basically. Anyway, I thought I do need to go and I kept saying, I'll go and get this checked out, I'll go and get what's going on in here. And I went to the osteopath. She was like, there's nothing wrong with your knee. It's a bit stiff. There's plenty wrong with everything else. And she worked up quite a sweat, a good hour of moving me. Like everything is really my back, my pelvis. So she gave me a really good going over. Loved it. She was like, your hamstrings are so tight.
So is that why your knee is feeling everything?
Just like your knee, because I showed her what like I can do and I can't do, and I'm like, I wouldn't like if it was like ACL or cartilage, like would I be able to? And she's like, no, it's like your hammies are so tight. So she did some things to my hammies that shouldn't be allowed to be done. And she was like, you're going to be a bit stiff tomorrow, and I was like, yeah. Oh my gosh. So then Saturday dawned, done all my training. I'm tired, but I'm not, I kept a little bit of bucket of reserve to meet up with Debs and Rachel. And Debs is going to Western States, as we know. And she was like, I want a big hill day.
Can't believe you did that on Friday, Eddie, with the big hills.
And I was like, yes, Debs, I'm all over this. I love this. I'll meet you. We'll destroy your legs together. I didn't really look at the route, but I think I did mention it, didn't I? And you were like, Eddie, that's a bit spicy. But I didn't even like look at really what the terrain was like, other than the fact that it was 3 Munros. It was a great route. Loved it. I think Debs calling it a running route is
I was going to ask that. Yeah,
there was a lot of looking up gullies. Up we go. It was like technical as in just like rocky. It would be a great route. It's on my Strava if you want to look. It's much more technical than a UTMB route. There's a lot of like gullies and climbing. I would have thought it'd be suitable. A UTS if you're Scotland based, great sort of. But I do believe that there's a place for that sort of day in like a long day out, trotting, jogging, climbing. Like I love using up. My God, my lats the next day. Yeah, I was so sore from hanging on for dear life. Gullies. So as the day progressed, my body, my hips, my back, my knees, I was like, oh yeah, the osteo was right. The guys would like trot off down the stairs, and one boy just lay down. I was like, oh God, my hamstrings were so sore. Eddie. Anyway, they'll tell you I didn't moan that much at all, Gary. Pretty quiet about it, really. I think when Debs was folding her arms at the bottom of one bit of descent waiting, as I was like,
I think men are different to women, because I think men will suffer in silence until they collapse.
I'm so happy to be like, oh my God, you'd hear me coming a mile away. Anyway, we had so much fun, so much laughing. We were lucky with the weather. Initially, it was saying like thunderstorms, and actually it was a jacket off, jacket on, but it wasn't cold, and it rained a little bit. We got absolutely eaten alive by the midges on the first, and my God, the next day I had like, like 40 midgie bites down one bit of my arm. I reckon out of the 3 of us, they were like, who's the meatiest? That one in the middle, that one that squats.
The butt.
Let's get her. And get your my butt. That's the biggest bit. Just all down my arms, down my legs. Anyway, we had a great time. It was longer. We do fast, but that's the point of like, if you meet if you meet with mates for a run, there's a lot of wheeze and there's a lot of chat, and I love all that. We got to the last Monroe and my phone like, and Bryn was like, "You back at the car yet?" And I was like, "Ooh, no, we're 10 miles still from the car." Whoopsie. And I always find that bit the worst bit. Is like you've finished the climbing and then you're like the downhill. Yeah. But then the downhill goes on and on and on. And then Debs goes, "Oh, there's a couple of more little hills. You don't need to pulse for these, Eddies." Anyway, loved it. We had a great day. Fueled well, tried a few little different things, drank well. At the end of the day, when we're running, you're just doing the last couple of miles and you're running. And I was like, I love it. That feeling of like, oh, what a day. Oh, it just fills my soul, that sort of day. Loved
I love that
it.
well-earned fatigue at the end of it.
Well-earned fatigue. Got home. Bryn had held the fort admirably, and he was like, what? I was going to have enchiladas for tea, Gary, but I was like, that is going to take too long. So we had one of those really cheap, like, margarita pizzas in the freezer that, like, I was
incredible.
Like,
emergency meal.
Get that out. That takes 8 minutes. And the kids had already eaten.
Okay.
And they sat round me like a swarm of hyenas. And I got this pizza and I was like, "Do not touch it." And their little fingers are like, and I was like, no, just watch your mother. This is how you do it, kids. Slice it up. I was like, just 4 slices. That'll do. Great. And then I was so happy because I had to get up, had to start running it. I think about 6:30 on Sunday morning to fit my run in.
That was a slot. Oh my goodness.
My God. And I was like, come on, Eddie. But I was so happy that all I had to do was a 60-minute dog jog. And I was like, back of the net. What a week, Gary. I'm proud of myself. I did think, have I burnt all those matches in 1 week? I was like, that was a really great week, but can you do because that's always the sign, isn't it? Can you do that again next week? Can you do it again next week?
Yeah.
I'm holding on with my fingernails, but I'm still going. I'm still going. So I didn't actually get, because of the volume of that Saturday, you only did 10 by 1 minutes as my workout, but like we sort of touched on last week.
Something's got to give.
I was happy with that.
What's the terrain for a race across Scotland? Is there anything that is spicy?
Well, I'm ready. I'm ready to throw anything at me. I like doing all sorts of different terrain as well, because I'm not going to be able to recce the course. I don't think there's any scrambling. I would like to know that if I get in any situation, I can handle any terrain. It also reminds me that I'm not a sky runner and I will not be competing over anything that involves if you can slide down on your bum, I can win that award. What about you? Did you tick off a solid old week as well? Did I see 2 Swaledale marathons?
I know, yeah. I'm such
what
a sad
the hell? You're such a loser, Gary.
Well, I wanted just to really nail that nav. I think I said last week with
how hard is this nav? It's not Priggock.
No, literally you're probably only straight 10 metres past somewhere where you should have gone. But I love it. We've done this now. This is why I'm really invested in these shorter races. Unlike, say, how fond I am of the Lake 100, if I did 3 recce's, I still wouldn't have done the whole course. I've now done that course in 2 weeks. I've done it 3 times. Are
you not bored of it? Because I'd be bored of it.
No way. It's been absolutely incredible. So, yeah, I'm fully invested. There's about 3 sections which you can overshoot a turning or take a worse line. I've done it different every single time I've done it. So hopefully there'll be somebody who knows where they're going. There'll be somebody to follow come race day. I was planned to do 3 heat sessions, but I only did 2. I think that was sensible with the load of the Friday and the Saturday super big runs. But I did do a little cheat heat session where I wore a merino wool top for my 8 times 4 minutes at 10% on the treadmill. I wanted to gamify the heat training, so I did get a tiny little heat score.
Did you?
But I
wore mine on the big run to see if I got any heat score, and I got like 0.8.
When I did the Newlands Memorial kind of run before the guys did the race, I wore that day. It was quite a warm day. I just didn't lose any, which I would have lost some.
Okay. They do say you should wear it all the time, but I just don't bother wearing it all the time.
So that's all I did. I just put it on there just to cheat the app, basically.
You are like my teenage kids. You know how to cheat. Every lock I put on their phones, they're like, yeah, Mum, we get around this.
Yeah. The merino wool, though, it's not a good choice of material and look for the gym. Every little ounce of sweat just gathered on that top. It was hanging off me. It was terrible. The problem was because I had to run home, and we've had a little bit of mild weather. I went from being really, really hot to leaving the gym, cooling down, and then running home absolutely.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful. Do you find when you come back from your heat training and you're boiling, and I have my squash and my ice cubes, and then within that 15 minutes, by the time that 15 minutes are done, I'm really cold in the heat suit. I'm like, take it all off.
As soon as I've hit 10 out of 10, everything's off.
And if I've hit 10 out of 10 before I get home, I'm like, but I'm taking it all off. I don't care. I'm not doing the extra bit. It's going straight in the washing machine, dressing gown on. Even if the postie's arriving, he's gonna see the best butt cheeks he's seen in town anyway.
And on the run home, actually, from the gym, I noticed it's not an overshare, it's a bit gross. I noticed some dog shit on the path. If I was in the countryside and I had a carrier bag or something, or some means of taking rubbish home, if I saw a plastic bottle or a crisp packet, I'd probably pick that up and take it home with me.
Yeah,
but this dog shit was on the path. And I thought, should I be picking that up? I had Rex's doggy bags in my rucksack.
I couldn't do it, Gary. I don't think I could do it. Especially if it was a bit sloppy.
It was solid, just for more information than you need.
We should, but also I'm not judging you for not doing that.
I've never done it, and I just was puzzled. Should I have done that? Anyway, maybe come at me in the comments. Should I have taken it home? I did a couple of home workouts, and I did get back down the gym on Sunday. I didn't want to do it because I didn't want DOMs going into Friday and Saturday's run. It was a soft launch for the gym though on Sunday. I didn't go fully in on the old weights that I could lift. And luckily, no zero DOMs apart from, is it the adductors on the inside?
Didn't do it properly then, did you?
I was too busy crushing Instagram reels. Yeah. But it was good just to get back down there. I think you introduce that routine again.
What are you doing when you do a 12-minute, 45-second mile back from the gym?
What am I doing?
Is that the dog poo one when you're like looking at the dog poo and then like thinking?
I'm pretty sure one of them was I bumped into two people I know, so I was chatting for ages and I just didn't stop my watch. So that must be judgy Strava.
Oh my God. I was like, well, you put it on. What's the point of Strava if I'm not going to look at your thing? And then I'm like, what's he doing?
Did one day, definitely, I did stop and chat. And if I hear a message, when I've done my workout, the jog home is just academic.
Oh,
really.
I get that. I was more interested about what you were doing. I was like, oh, has he popped to get an ice cream?
No. Gassing on with friends. So this is the highlight really of my running week. It was 2 Swaledale Marathon recce's. Fingers crossed the nav is locked in. On day 1, basically Robbo, myself and Liam, and we weren't flying, we weren't going like full beans, but it was a good solid pace. Yeah, fuel like a pro, and I tested out that I mentioned last week where I was going to put an extra scoop of the Precision Fuel Hydration drink mix in there. So no dramas. There's some spicy climbs in the Swaledale route. Not the elevation, obviously the vert of the lakes, but yeah, there's definitely one of them. I'm blanking on all the names. The first climb right out of Reeth, that is quite a long, maybe definitely over a mile. And there's another climb maybe about halfway through the route to ice cream in Reeth from the creamery to finish. And then Sundays was much more hash brown and pasty paste. We stopped off in Greg's on the way down. And yeah, normally it's all about the gels or the mint cake and the carbs, this and that. And I thought, no, Aaron had cooked himself. He was on a Bob Graham round, leg 1 support on the Friday night. If my maths is correct, he probably didn't get to bed till maybe 2, half 1, 2 in the morning. Then it was an 8:30 pickup. So he was pooped before we'd even started the run. And I was pretty tired too after the recce on Friday. So yeah, it was full on cheese pasty pace. I am having some shoe stress. I'm leaning on the North Face Vective Sky 2, but I want to save them for Lakeland 100.
When I was wearing those ones, maybe the one of that, I wore them for like a couple of years, Gary.
Yes. Well, yeah. Oh, goodness me. I've got shoes that I've got, even those, the New Balance that I slipped and slided all the way when we did our Northern Traverse recce.
That was hilarious.
I still love wearing those. Yeah, really good. And there was a bit on the Swaledale Marathon route. You go past a quarry, someone will know. What is the difference between a quarry and a mine? Is it, because you get open cast mines?
Is it up above and down below?
Well, no, because you do get open cast mines. So some of those are open. I wonder if it's like what they actually dig out the ground. Oh, we're going to find out.
Here we go, listeners. What? Here we go. We're just pulling in the... Does it do that left up through? It's like quite a tricky left. You can't see it. and then you go up quite steeply.
Yeah, so it really is a change of landscape when you climb up there. You can see
I love it up round there.
Yeah.
Love it up round there.
You've got the disused little minor vehicles, quarry vehicles.
That's where you see the ladies in their, if you're doing the Northern Traverse and you go through there at night, and you can see the ladies with their candles coming out of the mine.
Oh, shut your face.
Gary, follow us down here.
The sirens.
That's where I lost my picture of the kids that I lost on the spine. Then it was given back to me on Hadrian's Wall. Someone had found it and said those are Eddie's kids. And then I got that out on that bit on the Northern Traverse, and it took it out my hand, the wind.
Yes.
And it went somewhere around those quarries. The picture of Mike, imagine someone found it. I like the fact that somewhere around there, the picture is of them. Anyway, yes.
Literally.
Okay. The difference between the quarries and mines. Did you say this is the type of material extracted?
Oh, it is.
And the method of extraction. Oh, I wasn't too wrong. We could have passed our GCSE. This is such a geography GCSE question. Quarry, locate usually an open pit. Mine is underground, or it can be surfaced. Materials are removed in large blocks or layers in the quarry, and in the mine involves more complex systems such as tunneling or drilling.
Incredible.
That's a great. I love a bit of running up there. I think we would recce that bit again for the Northern Traverse anyway, because it's such a good bit, that section.
Yeah, if it is the same section, yeah, it is really. I love it. Just the way the landscape changes. I think I may have had an unwitting coffee. My son made me a coffee on Friday nights. I'm guilty of introducing a bit of caffeine in tea. It manifested on Saturday. I must have had at least one wee every mile. It was back to the kind of bad old days. I'm cold turkey currently ahead of Swaledale. I'm in a phase. This is a bit of an overshare where I can't really trust a fart at the moment too. So don't be behind me on Saturday. So yeah, 2 great solid days. I had a curry on Sunday.
Oh, did you adventure off the curry list, or did you?
I did. I tried something that I'd never tried before, and it was a special, and I'm terrible. I forgot which one it was, so I can't even share it with our listeners. But the night was marred by like literally 9 out of 10 agony for trapped wind. It was off the charts. I had to go up and go for a wander. I went to the toilet just to get...
9 out of 10 agony. Have you ever given birth, Gary? My
Well,
God.
that's 11 out of 10.
Can you imagine that?
12 out of 10.
Can you imagine you had a bit of a fart problem?
I seriously thought I was having a turn. I went from being, this is incredible, to like not in a good place whatsoever. But the silver lining was I had a big pint of Cobra in front of me, which I'd just ordered before all this pain came on, and I couldn't drink it, so it saved me from...
Do you think you have a bit of IBS or something, Gary?
I definitely have got something going on, yeah.
You definitely got something dodged down below. Anyway, let's
George
move on.
had his lips all around that.
Oh, I bet he did. He was like, Dad, I'm away from me, just like my kids and the pizzas. They're just not old enough yet to move on to my alcoholic fetish.
And I saw somebody had shared with us, there's been a black cat sighting in the Castle Eden walkway, which is a walkway that, I don't literally run every metre of that walkway every day, but that is the closest trail to my house. So I'm well acquainted with it. I've got to say, it's got to be... You're calling
this
It's
BS.
got to be BS. I'm not saying the guy hasn't seen something, but there's no way there is a 2 metre long black cat stalking the Castle Eden walkway. Great story though. But all in all, yeah, including the dog walks, because I am leaning... Poor Rexy, he's in a phase of his life where he's not really enjoying running at the moment.
No, I thought he loved it.
He does, yeah. 3 miles. I'd say 3 miles is tops.
And Tarky is like, she loves a 3 mile. And then sometimes we just have to go a bit longer. And she's like, oh my God.
So he walks in the morning, so I'm trying to get up super early so it doesn't really interfere with the rest of the day. But yeah, including all the walking, over 100 miles covered in about 14,500 feet of vert.
I got more vert than you. I'll just take that.
You do 2 trail days. True, you do 2. You do 2 days on the trails, and you can't help but rack up some decent vert.
No, yeah, for sure. Good work, team. You can't fault us for trying.
Yeah. But I'm the same as you. Only one workout because just that load.
Because we just love the miles.
Yeah.
thanks Precision Fuel and Hydration for supporting Brew with the Coaches. Their website and newsletters are such good sources of knowledge, articles to read, and YouTube content to binge on. On YouTube, you can learn how to fuel an ultramarathon, what pro runners carry on race day, and how to nail your marathon prep. Gary, I know you want to say something, but I'm going to also say I used the Flow Gel again, and the Flow Gel is a really good
game
thing
changer
to have on when you want your hands free and you're going up and down quite a lot. I just stuck the bottle hanging out my mouth and sucked on it like a baby. And
I'm gelling it. I've got no Flow Gel, so I'm going to gel it on Saturday because I've got some gels in the box. If anybody's interested, I'm going for 3 scoops of carb and the electrolyte drink in my bottles on Saturday. That's going to give me about 45 grams of carb per bottle. And that is an easy way, like similar to the Flow Gel. If you're in a part of a course where you've got a bit of admin going on, you don't really want to be faffing on.
I love that. Climbing up a galley. I've got a bit of admin going on, but I need some fuel.
And then the gel side of things, I wish I had ordered some Flow Gel. It's not going to...
Oh, do you want me to send you some?
No, it's fine. I'll just use the... I've got these gels. Thanks for the offer though. But 2 30-gram gels. I'm not leaning on any checkpoint food. So I'm going to get 60 grams of carb through the gels and then about another 30 through the drink. So I'm going to be about 90 grams of carb per hour. I'm only going to go one bottle.
Any caffeine?
Oh, well, I'm really scared of caffeine. I did take a caffeine gel at London Marathon. I have got some caffeine gels.
Do you find they give you a little metallic kick? Can you taste something in them?
No, my taste buds are terrible.
Yeah, dead, aren't they? They're dead. I love, on a long day, taking one with about 40 minutes to go because it just gives me such a buzz on the last... I think
I'll take 2. I'll take 2. That'd be high risk.
Time, you make you finish. Yeah,
but when I can't trust a fart, what's the point? I don't want to take coffee.
Can't trust it anyway. It's just hit
well, is the phrase never trust a fart after 30 miles? So sometimes.
This morning, this is overshare, but it's hilarious. So when I run with the dogs, I got a harness around my butt. It's I don't know what brand it is. And then Lindy's on the lead. She's fine. And then Taki, I hand lead her because she likes to go either side of me. She's a sniffer. We do a lot of stopping. And so she's sort of fat. And then when we've got like a bit of track, I'll attach her onto the harness as well. But she doesn't pull like Lindy does. She's just a nice companion. Anyway, I was a bit windy this morning, Gary. I've got this harness over my butt. So I was really, because I was going, brr, but then the harness would a ripple. I was like, if anybody could hear or see that, I would have brr, and then brr, out the harness, I'd shake it out. I was laughing so much. Anyway, a bit of overshare, but there we go.
I got a little on this workout I was doing. It's just the Garmin workout. They name it as HIIT. It's not HIIT workout. I don't do it as HIIT workout. I had to do squat thrusts. And I had a little bit of fat ripple every time I did it. It was
Gary, that's perfectly normal. Do you not have the bingo wing rubbish as well? When you're like running and you've got a vest on,
this was on my ribs,
my arm
just
down,
below my
and on my arm goes. I'm like, wee.
I didn't like it. And then I looked down at my incredible torso, and all my belly was gathering in one place. Not good.
Were you doing a plank? Because that's the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Well, try having 3 kids and looking down and see what your stomach does when you do a plank. It is like, like bread that's being kneaded. That is what it looks. It is absolutely horrendous.
Yeah, if you're doing planks, don't look down. It's not good.
How we got onto that?
This week's Brew of the Coaches question comes from Yolanda Cox. I'm currently training for my second attempt at the Trail Outlaw St Cuthbert's Way Ultra. I DNF'd at 40 miles in the first attempt in 2023. Having completed the Hardwalls 40 in 2024, it's actually 48 miles, and I'm determined to complete the St Cuthbert's Way Trail 100k route in full this summer. I'm 51 and live by the sea in Hartlepool. I run 3 to 4 times per week. Castle Eden Dean is my favourite place for hill training, along with recce days out to train on Hardmoors route and on the St Cuthbert's Way. I work in retail and spend the majority of my 40 working hours per week on my feet. I usually do around 15,000 steps during a work shift. Wow, that something that I think about quite often because I have such a sedate life apart from physical exercise. But yeah, Yolanda's grafting all day long. Yolanda's question is about training plans. When looking at generic training plans online, some plans focus purely on time per session and some plans focus on miles. Having concentrated on miles during training for previous events, I wonder if there is a preferred approach by the coaches or benefits to be had by combining the two approaches. For example, time sessions for midweek training, but miles for weekend long runs. Thank you, Yolanda. Yes, in Culprit's Way 100k trail. We must have bumped into each other on the trails quite a few times, Yolanda.
Has he touched you, Yolanda?
But Castle Eden Dean. Castle Eden Dean, it's such a great training round. And I think I do pretty much what Yolanda does. My sessions are 8 times 4 minutes, 8 times 3 minutes. And then come the weekend, I will do miles. But again, with the trails, it's a bit more loosey-goosey with the actual distance. But yeah, Eddie, what's your thoughts on that?
Firstly, Yolanda, kudos. Love you coming back from a DNF. Go and smash it. You're going to do it. We know you're going to do it. There's no right or wrong answer, but you can sort of interpret this just like Gary does. And I think, Yolanda, my answer is going to be like the same sort of thing for you. Make it fit for you. Make it fit for your life. And I think a mélange. That means a mixture en français. Okay, a mixture of actually both these works really well. Like me and Gary with our training, pick the bits we like. We do the bits we like. But so you've got your time-based training. So that's like saying, I'm going to run for 45 minutes, I'm going to run for 60 minutes, or you've got your mileage base and it says, I'm going to run for 5 miles, I'm going to run for 6 miles. Pros and cons of both. If you're a trail runner, I do say this, especially during the week, this works so much better because you can run on any terrain. And I just find mentally as well, I don't know if you that like 60 minutes, I say to myself, I'm going to run for 7 miles. Oh, I'm like, that feels like a long way. 60 minutes, I find that easier to break down. Also, it doesn't matter what I run on. Possibly if you choose minutes as well, you might choose a route that is a bit more hilly, a bit more traily because you're not focusing on how many miles you're going to run. So you're not like, well, if I run on the road, I'm going to get 6 miles done much quicker. And that's going to be better for like overtraining. And it's easier in the week to fit in. You know, if you've got a family, if you've got work, you're like, right, I've got a 90-minute run. Out the door, I'll be back in, hour and 45 because we've got wee stops in there.
I'm not saying this is correct, but I wouldn't be a slave to those numbers. Say if it was 60 minutes and my run was 55 minutes or an hour and 10.
I'm like, you kind of get the difference. Like I do think a recovery run, you don't want to go over an hour because then I think you do start looking, your blood glucose starts going down. Things that if you've got a little niggle, you can start like generally the run becomes a bit of a different. You need to start fueling. So I'd kind of keep it under 60 if you're looking for that recovery stimulus. Like whatever, because everyone's loop. You just have your loops, don't you, when you're getting into runnage. Well, you got your mileage-based training, so that's your clear metric. I'm going to run 5 miles. I'm going to run 6 miles. I think this has a much more place in like specific bits, maybe of like Yolanda said, like I'm doing a 40 mile. I want to know I can cover 20 miles quite comfortably in a long run. So that's when I would probably say both for like your fueling, your pacing to know how long you might be out on the course. It's a good idea in your longer runs that you want to be, you will tick off, right, today my long run is going to be 20 miles. Some people though, like everybody's brain works differently, and I'm really leaning into this more as I coach more and more. And some people like the mileage. Do what works for you, but just understand that you don't need to be a slave to either. You might do a mix. And I think lots of us do. They combine lots of different things. The biggest thing I think as well about doing time-based is you really do listen to your body and you go on the effort because you're not chasing a number. The time is going to run whatever you're doing. So you might run a little bit slower because you're like, doesn't make any difference. I've got to be out here for an hour as well. Your retail job is your recovery. You have logging some time on your feet. Those are miles. Those are like 3 or 4, like 10,000 steps. Isn't that 5K? So you are logging like 4 or 5 miles worth of walking around, whatever you're doing. I would say recce days, if you've DNF'd on a course, go back, face those demons and spend some time on the course. Don't worry about the miles. Don't worry about the time, but get back on that course. Perhaps cover the bits you didn't do. Perhaps cover the bit where you DNF'd and run past it with confidence and give it the V's and go, look how much stronger I am. Perhaps try, we talked about minutes and miles as well. Perhaps try as well a little bit of back-to-back running. That's always a great way of putting in a little bit of extra miles without having to do like a mega long run. So like you could do 15 miles one day, 10 miles the next day, and you're going to feel a lot better than if you do 25 miles all at once. Listen to your body. You've got a tough job, and you've got other things perhaps going on in your life as well. So don't be a slave to a training plan as well. Make sure that you listen to it. And if it says 5 miles, if it says an hour, and you think, do you know what? I think I've got half an hour in me. Do that as well. So there's no right or wrong answer, but I think this is what a lot of people juggle with. And when you do have, if you're using an app for training or if you're downloading a plan, lots of the plans are mileage based, but you can easily turn them into minutes as well. I think what works for 90% of people is you do your minutes during the week. You know what fits in, you know how much time you have during the week, take a rest day, and then maybe focus a little bit on miles or vert even on your longer days. But don't be a slave to anything ever. What do you reckon, Gary?
Well, yeah, it's quite a mixed trail, Outlaws. It starts off quite hilly, and then you get to Wooler, and after Wooler it does get quite runnable. If memory's correct, there's a lot of tarmac, so yeah, you do need some running.
So if I was training for that sort of thing as well, especially with a running back end of a course, is that's when a back-to-back weekend is great, is that you do like maybe some spicy climbs on the first day and a bit more hiking, and you have a longer day on a Saturday, and then Sunday you go, right, I am going to miles, and I'm going to run for like 10, 15 miles on tired legs.
I listened to Coopcast, I'm sure it was Coopcast, and if I've got this correct, apologies if I've interpreted this information wrong, but there's something about where you lose time at the back end of a race, and it's a route that basically promotes walking, then the time cost is less because people walk relatively similar to each other. But if it's a running end to the course and you are walking that, then you're going to hemorrhage time compared to somebody who has trained for that second half.
The butt cheeks.
Yeah. But also miles is deceptive. You know, I would potentially, this is why I like my long runs at least, to mimic roughly the event, because I wouldn't want to do, say, a Bob Graham support and be doing similar elevation ratio to what you did when my race is, say, the Lakeland 100.
No.
Because
yeah, make it specific. Make that weekend specific. And also, yeah, like you say, 1 mile, your 1 mile in the Lake District is not going to compare to your 1 mile around Canary Wharf. No mile is the same, ever. So, yeah, good luck, Yolanda.
Good luck, Yolanda.
Just gonna do it.
I love that race. You're chasing the tide. Jeopardy.
Jeopardy.
Strava.
I did something dirty on Strava this week, Gary. Not only did I go public with my thing, but I went into the Strava club and I gave kudos to anybody.
You sprinkling kudos
of the 5 a.m. club. I was like, who else has been out running?
Oh, so we need a metric.
Like,
I love it.
Kudos to you if you've been out running at the same time as me with bleary eyes. Oh, dribble still down your cheek, cup of tea. I slurp my cup. I'm literally slurping down the tea as I leave the house, but when it's that early, and so I was like, I'm going to sprinkle a bit of love to all you fellow early. Some people are hardcore, Gary. They're out doing like miles before they get to work. You guys are incredible. Anyway, I'm going to keep doing that because I was inspired by what some people are doing.
Every time I go over there, it's just like, wow, these guys are absolutely crushing it. But thank you, Harrier Trail Running, for sponsoring our Strava Club and the Tales from the Trails section. Harrier is the UK's fastest growing brand for trail runners, providing specialist kit designed for superior fit, comfort and function with the best customer support. Check them out for race vests, waterproofs, poles and other trail essentials at www.harrierrunfree.co.uk, where you can also download your free copy of How to Run an Ultra Guide. Use the code T10 for 10% off site-wide, or check out their brilliant trail bundles for a special 20% off. First up is Karen Hacker, 58.6 miles for the week, longest run of 15.2 and total elevation 5,446 feet. Hilly Fartlek, that was the standout activity over on Karen's Strava. I wonder if that was Robbo's workout of the
Definitely.
week. Marie A-S. Next up, 58 58.5 miles with a longest run of 51.6 and total elevation 8,789 feet. Now, Marie is a request to follow. Could that have been Ultra Scotland, the Stanza Stones, or Endure 24? I'm not too sure, but either way, yeah. Brian Alner is up last, 71.7 miles, the longest run of 57.1 miles, and the total elevation 10,164 feet. Ultra Scotland 50 for Brian. Also a 50k PB too during the race. Absolutely smashed it. Sounded like a muddy course over that second half. That would have been super hard going, especially when you are pooped. Kudos to all our Strava Club members. There's nearly 3,000 people over there crushing it week after week after week. Yeah, if you'd like some 5 a.m. kudos, or I might have to pick a metric. What's going to be my metric? That
if you run over 30 miles, you get a
20,000 feet of
20,000 feet of bird in 1 mile.
But then you're penalising somebody who lives in London or something where they just
Clay, we are not that sort of person. I think you can just head in with your sprinkles if you've got a little 5 minutes, and you can just go through and go, a dog picture, that's going to get me good.
Yeah, every time.
Somebody put a couple of very naughty looking Cocker Spaniels, and I was like, love, send them to me. Oh, I forgot to tell you on my long run. So I've got a dog story.
Dog bite.
This lady, but I didn't. She had this little dog. I was running towards it. I saw it and I thought, that's a yapper. That is going to come for my ankles. I know. She had the lead in her hand. It was a big. She could see me coming. I was like, put the lead on. Or just hold your dog. I know. It turned to face me and it came for me. And it was one of those small dogs that you could literally have like, and it came to one and I was like, oh. I'm much more scared of the small little handbag dogs than I am of a big dog.
I don't want to stand on it.
No, I'm like, oh. I was like, oh. I was like, going, oh my God, your dog. She was like, this lady is so overreacting for the size of my dog.
Calm
but
down.
it was really going for like my ankles. And I was like, oh God, it's going to take them. Anyway, she was like, I'm so sorry. It's really friendly. And that is always what gets my goat, is when they're like, he's really friendly. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know that. I'm like, just pull your dog back. You can see. Anyway, I thought nope, Eddie, I'm going to get some karma here, because let's face it, my dogs can be idiots as well. And Lindy's definitely been an idiot a few times to people. So I was like, it's absolutely fine. Don't worry. Just call your dog back. She looks lovely. And she was like, yeah, she's just happy to see you. I was like, yeah. I thought, I'm going to be like calm, collected. Then next time one of my dogs are twats, hopefully I'll get the same response from.
I'm pretty relaxed, just like you. Rex has some form, so. Yeah.
That's some form. You have some pedigree with them. Sometimes it's like, once I was putting the dogs in the car and Taki jumped back out as a dog went, and I was like, what are you doing?
You set me up.
And you set me up for this. So anyway, yes, long story short, put your dogs on Strava. Let's see those little cute little dogs.
Tales from the trails.
I love this message from Nicola Glover. Shall I read the whole email and then read the poem? Because it's kind of got like a story behind it, hasn't it?
Go for
Strap
it.
in, guys. Here we go. Hi, Gary and Eddie. I came to your podcast in January 2024. So for a full 12 months, gosh, I've had the luxury of having 2 Tea and Trails podcasts to listen to each week. Well, don't worry. Your wish may be our command. I love each and every feature from the pod, but particularly enjoy hearing everyone's tales from the trails, us too. Given other people have written in and shared their poems, I thought I might share my race report from July 2023 as to how this all came about. I'm mum of 2 young girls, and I became a full-time carer 3 years ago due to my youngest having significant additional needs. So 2 years ago, my running bestie and I started an annual self-indulgent treat, holidaying in the Alps with a 50k mountain race to start it off, followed by a few days of hiking and embracing the sauna lifestyle. Being in the mountains, just putting one foot in front of the other, is the only time I can fully be free and be me, a feeling I'm sure many of your listeners resonate with. Anyway, have fun with this. Apologise for the shoddy rhyming couplets. It's certainly not as highbrow as some of the poetry you've read out before. Devastatingly, this is race and holiday clashes with the Tea and Trails Ultra. No, that's not devastating. That's good. Get away, my girl. I hope you're having a great time. We've unfortunately booked it before you release the date, but can't wait to hear all about it. Thanks for such a top podcast, Nicola. She's then sent us these 2. I want to be invited on this. 50k trail run and then a sauna holiday. I thought you'd appreciate a little glimpse of our habit of making tea mugs that document our races. These two are really good artists as well, aren't they? Well, we are going to read your poem out. Here we go. Verbier Marathon 2023. One autumn day, two friends did meet to discuss how much they needed a treat. With wine in hand, they soon had booked flights to Geneva. Then their legs got fooked. The cost of new kit was really quite dear, so thanks to SAC teammates for lending their gear. From backpacks to head torches and collapsible cups, enthusiasm and advice, they lapped it all up. As two pros should, they spent most of Friday carrying heavy backpacks around Verbier. La Pagola provided the pre-race pasta. They struggled to sleep, imagining disaster. They caught the cable car down and then up to Mouet. Nicholas strapped Caroline's knee in an amateur way. Bruce Springsteen's reminded us we were born to run. The final countdown announced the start of the fun. They started uphill to the sound of tangled poles. Through the forest they climbed till the views did unfold. They arrived at Cabane de Mille ahead of time. They munched some cheese and joined the long line. The scrambling bottleneck up to Mont-Rognou saw too much time to admire the views. Nearly an hour passed by for just 1k, and the steep rocky descent didn't allow for much headway. Caroline's knee now lacked any stability, but her mental strength showed far less fragility. The pinned-in rest stop was a much welcome sight, till the cries of "no water" gave all a big fright. Coca-Cola and energy would never be right, for temperatures had now reached a dizzying height. After weird, shiny orange eggs, ginger cakes and dates, a tappet appeared. Hurrah! It paid to be late. By now they were known for their speedy ascents. The British duo scampered past and on they went. Up to the col with a view of the glacier, stunning, intimidating. Who dare would cross her? During the steep scree descent, the gush of icy waters was heard. Then suspended magnificently, the bit they had yearned, 190 metres long, the Passerelle de Corbassière provided excitement and awe. They were a giddy pair. Back to business as they shot up the next pass. On to the next feed station. They planned to go fast. Some refreshing fizzy water and a cut-off to beat. They actually started to run on their feet. A path by a gully and a gradual downhill with its colourful alpine flowers was enjoyed until some metal steps built into the face of a rock provided the first indication that their quads were shot. The descent only got steeper and steeper and steeper. The sun glared on their heads and they had to dig deeper. There was no worse descenders on the mountain that day. Lourtier aid station felt a long way away. As all the mountain goats came galloping past fast, expletives were screamed at the hill, more than blast. The tarmac couldn't come quickly enough. Nicola was beginning to run out of puff. "I can't stop, I'll seize up," yelled Caroline behind her. "I'll see you in Lourtier," and there Nicola did find her. Tears they were shed. This was as good as the end, for the final leg was uphill, their dear friend. After risotto and a sit-down in the gym hall, the recent perils were gone. They were having a ball. They marched up through hamlets to Allez, Allez, while water jogs were held out along the way. The tannoy could be heard with 2k more as they picked their way carefully through the woodland floor. The reception was massive. Allez, les filles! The bustling bars and restaurants had Caroline wondering what was for D. A storytelling shuffle towards the finish line, a Morecambe and Wise leap at just gone 9. High five, sweaty hugs and beaming faces, and swiftly on to planning next year's races. The recovery was mostly spent in the spa, but let's not forget Caroline stuck under the bar, or at security when Nicola's watch was taped to her wrist, or how one Petit Pierre had these lightweights pissed. They imagined their life with their man, his weathered skin and defined physique. Each day spent hiking up to each peak. Sadly, in dreams, this will have to remain, for before too long, we had to catch our plane. I think that's the best poem I've ever read, Gary.
Phenomenal. That was amazing.
Wow. Send us more, Nicola. Amazing. I wonder where you're going. June the 28th for a hilly 50k marathon. I wonder what you're doing, but let us know and we look forward to the poem as well.
Thanks, Nicola. It's amazing.
As ever, we love your tales from the trails. Do send us them to hello at tea and trails. I'm going on. Do send them to us at hello@teaandtrails.com. This week's workout of the week comes from Joe Barr. His interview is going out on Monday. You're going to have to listen to that, but I'm going to give you a sneaky preview. And this does not surprise us. And I love this. This is the first time someone has actually not given us a workout, but it's still a workout every time you head out with your trainers. And he said his favorite thing to do is just to head out at sunset and take some time to appreciate the sunset, to breathe and to listen to nature. So that's your little challenge this week. listeners, is it might have to be a sunrise. It might have to be a sunset. I don't think Joe will judge. He doesn't come across as that sort of guy. Are you a sunrise or a sunset guy for a run?
Oh, I love the mornings. Definitely not a workout, so I'm with Joe. I could just appreciate the miles. But this time of year, that's either a super
Get up early.
duper
What
or a
time
really
you
late night
reckon?
run.
I kind of call the sunrise. I sort of see the sun's already up when I'm out, but I see that very early morning sun, and it looks quite different to the sun a couple of hours later. And as my mum often used to say to us when we're teenagers lying in bed, past probably 8, no, my mum, but you've missed the best of the day. The best of the day is often that morning sunlight with the sun coming through the clouds. So if you can spare the time, do your Joe Bars workout.
If I do get up super early, run down the coast, we see the sunrise over the sea. Beautiful.
I tell you what, if you're running in a race, the best times are nearly always sunrise.
I remember that on 13 Valleys, the sun coming up as we went to Ray Castle. I was not in a good place, but I was absolutely loving life.
What a privilege it is. And I think Joe gave us a lot of that feeling, didn't he? Of like, what a privilege it is that we get to do this and to be out on your feet and often by yourself.
To be fit enough, to have the fitness to do it. Yeah, it's
and
a
the
treat.
time as well. If you do, I'll post this on Facebook, but I'd love to see some pictures if you do get out at sunset or sunrise.
Thank you, Protein Rebel, for bringing us home. Gentle on your stomach, driving your performance, whether you're trying to get a PB or training for your first marathon or completing your 10th ultra. Protein Rebel's products are easy to digest with no artificial additives, providing both performance and overall health benefits.
There was a bit of discussion over on our Facebook group this week about collagen and which was better for you, marine or bovine. Oh, both
Makes
of
me
them
want to
made me
reach.
feel, oh my God. But lots of people love it. Good chat, guys.
I had heard that marine was better, but I didn't have anything to back it up. I'd heard it somewhere.
So Liz from Protein Rebel, she comes in and is very good, articulate about some studies. Obviously, there's loads more studies to be done. I think this is an area that is still being studied, but she tells, if you could pop over to the thread, there is some good chat about which one is better for which, when you would use which collagen. And she has obviously, because this is her field, read the research and talks about the Protein Rebel collagen as well. So if you're not sure about it, then there is some quite useful information over on our Facebook group.
Yeah, you will have noticed a slightly different format to the podcast this week. It's not that we're
How's
not...
this going to go? I can't
Cancelled.
bear it.
We'll be cancelled.
Are
We're all
gonna
back to
get
normal next
cancelled?
week.
Why are we doing this, Gary? Should we because people will be like, I love your podcast for a long run.
Well, we do hear a mixture. Some people tune in just for the chat, and I see who's downloading what, and some people obviously do prefer certain guests. So we thought we would break it up.
Decouple, just like it's a good idea to decouple your drinks and your carbs sometimes.
Yeah.
We're just having a little experiment. Also, Gary, we've been doing this for so long now.
Yeah.
How many years, Gary? I mean...
It's got to be 4 years, over 4 years.
4 years. I think for me, it's getting on 5 years. It's hard to find ways to progress, to change.
Yeah.
With format, and people go, why would you change something that works? But also I find, I initially came to you, didn't I? And I went, look, so my podcast, some of my podcasts that I love, they're putting out 2 episodes a week and they split up the guest and the chat. I then get 2 little nuggets, and often 45 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour. I think our one isn't going to be longer than that, but it's long enough. And then I get to the end. If they're longer, like some of the podcasts I still do listen to 2 hours. I very rarely get to the end unless it's a long run. We're just going to try this, guys.
Well, everybody consumes it differently. If you watch on YouTube, this might be a little bit frustrating for you. We'll see how it goes. It may be too much work for me. It is going to be extra editing and uploading and this kind of stuff. We might get loads of pushback and think, oh, bollocks. We didn't read the room.
We will listen to you guys. And if you guys go, that was terrible, we will choose who we listen to. Bear with us for a couple of weeks as well. We're like all our new things. They take a little while to bed in. Yeah. So it might be that we change it as well as we go along. But see what you think. See how you like it. If you really like the long format of the podcast, of course, just save it for the week, for the weekend. Give us a week to catch up, and then you'll have a guest and a podcast as well.
Yeah, you can still listen to it. It's just over 2 episodes.
Gaza, what we got? Oh, you're racing. You are back out at it,
Yeah,
pinning
race
that
week.
number on,
Zero taper.
lubing up the nipples.
I feel like I
don't
do race quite a
understand
lot.
that. Can I question you on that? Like, you have invested so much time in wrecking this course to not go wrong, but you're not going to taper into it.
I say I'm not going to taper, but it's just coinciding with the week on my plan is a
You
down
have
week.
wrote zero taper.
Well, I'm going to do exactly what the plan says, apart from probably won't run on Friday. So, yeah, my plan is a pretty low week. I think it's like maybe 50 odd miles. So that isn't quite a taper, but it is
Before the race.
this week. If I was to do my plan as it is verbatim on the bit of paper to my right, it would be about a 50 odd mile week.
I thought you were going to do 50 miles before the race, and I was going to go, oh, Gaza.
No, it won't be that. I think it'll still be higher than 50 miles because I'll run Sunday too. But yeah, pretty much a zero taper, zero caffeine, and maximum effort. I will rest on Friday, I promise.
I just finished my tea.
I had an invite to go and do a recce of the Tea Trails Ultra on Friday. And I'm thinking,
you did? Yeah, it would have stood me up.
I'm thinking, maybe I could do. So if I do that, then that is at the expense of a command performance.
No, keep your pecker in.
So I won't do a workout today. I'll do heat, and then I might do some strides. Do Thursday, rest on Friday.
You don't need to justify your zero taper. You'll still go and smash it. We know you well enough now. You'll have a great.
I'm looking forward to this. This is interesting. Maybe this is something to improve the coaches. When you have like experience, it can lead to anxiety if you've had negative experience. But also, I've had positive experiences which give me some confidence. Like London Marathon was awesome. I can lean on lots of races. I can lean on all county tops. The effort I used during all county tops. So I would be quite scared normally going into this, but I know I can sustain quite a high effort for what was the all county tops? 9 hours, just under 9 hours. So yeah, you could trip over and everything ends within the first mile. Something bad could happen like that. GI is always a potential issue, but I'm leaning on positive experiences. And it's funny because again, Russell said stress kind of shows that you care. Zero stress at the moment. So maybe if I'm hands on my knees, snot down my face, then I'll kind of think,
oh, that is my heaven, Gary.
Yeah, but is that when I go,
you.
I don't really care, I'm just going to ease off as opposed to trying to chase someone down or hold somebody off.
You are the king of reframing anyway, so if you're like, oh, I was a bit dull, I just reframe this guy. I was just a training race, guys, just a training race.
Yeah.
Just jagged it in, I got bigger picture, bigger things. Right.
What about you?
Oh, Gary, I've got another mad weekend ahead. So I'm cramming. My God, I'm cramming. It's good enough for Killian. Killian crams and then he has a quiet weekend. So if it's good enough for him.
Yeah.
I watched a little video of him training for Western States. They made a little 15-minute of him talking about how he does his heat training. And he lives right by the sea, he says.
Yeah.
It's a very strange accent. But he said, I've only been down to the sea. Like, we've lived there for like 10 years. He said, I've only been down there 5 or 6 times since we've lived here. It's literally in the garden.
Oh my goodness.
It's literally in the garden. It's at the bottom of the garden. He walked down the garden. I thought, can that be true? Like, really? Killian, come on. So busy out running up the mountains.
I'd be skimming stones every night, watching the sunset.
You'd have your little feet in there. You'd have your little trotters. You'd be bathing your old niblet giblets in there after every run, wouldn't you?
Giblets.
But to be fair, we had a glacial river running past our house in France, and every long run, Bryn would be in there with his legs, and I would be like, whoa.
Attention to detail, Bryn. I love it.
So I've got a bit of a cramming week ahead again. I'm just busy. Life is busy. I'm hanging on by my fingernails until, I don't know why, I'm hanging on till the holidays, because then the taxi service slightly drops down, but then they're here, Gary.
Yeah.
But I'm longing for that little bit less school. Everybody, if you're a parent, you'll know, like, just the school run and the less of structure. But then within a week, I'm like, take them back. So yeah, I'm keeping that laser focus on. It's going well. I'm feeling good. Definitely what the osteopath did to me has helped. I can feel my hips are moving. You might notice little things are loosening up a bit. And I'm managing to keep all the plates spinning, and I only lose my rag once
when there's
every
one
hour.
tea bag in the cupboard.
Oh, when the milk went off yesterday. I took a sip of the milk. I was like, can I still drink this? even I went, oh, I'm not sure. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. We love you. Thanks for listening. Please share this episode and the pod and share the love. Pop over to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, subscribe, or even consider becoming one of our patrons. Thanks to X Miles, Precision Fuel Hydration, Phoenix Light UK, Harrier Trail Running, Protein Rebel for sponsoring this week's show. Here are the discount codes: T10 2025 for Shocks, T15 for Protein Rebel, Tea Time 2025 for Precision Fuel Hydration, and T10 for Harrier Trail Running. Thank you all to your partners, patrons. All of those coming to the Ultras, we're getting lots of messages saying, see you at the Ultra. We can't wait to see you there. We couldn't do this without you and your ongoing support.
Good luck to everybody out on the trails, whether you're racing, training, recceing, solo miles or miles with mates. We've got the South Downs Way 150 this weekend.
It's the 50K, not the 50 mile, in case anybody's entered the 50 mile and goes, what the hell? I thought that was in April. They have got a new race, the 50K, and it's got some fast. All of the races have got some fast.
Yeah,
and guess what,
fast.
Gary? It's looking hot again. I hope you guys are done your heat training.
What else have we got? Lamplighter, which Robbo mentioned on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. So he's off doing that. We've obviously got Swaledale Marathon and, the various summer spines.
The summer spines. If you're out on Hadrian's Wall, we love you. If you're going over the Cheviots, hold on there. If you're sitting at Bellingham thinking, I can't do it, you can do it, guys. Breathe and believe.
What else you've got? You've got the wall. Also, our friends at Punk Panther, they've got the Otley High Views this weekend. Super busy. And take your sun cream. I'm not going to remove my hat. When we were in Swaledale, I think it might have been Friday, and it was a bit overcast. It wasn't that I made a decision not to put sun cream on. I just completely forgot. And I had my cap rotated by 180 and I had a little burnt bit where the sun went through the gap at the back of my hat. So I looked like, if anyone's seen the Last Airbender, or not Cristiano Ronaldo, who's the Brazilian dude, the Brazilian footballer, who had like a little shaved bit to the front of his head. It's kind of evening out now.
What a look.
Take some sun cream. Whatever you're doing, let the trail rise to meet you and the wind always be on your back. Be kind to your future self, breathe and believe, and roll with the joy, and the miles will look after themselves. My name is Gary Thwaites.
And I'm Eddie Sutton.
And that was episode 125 of the Tea and Trails podcast.